What's up, everybody? It's your boy Blaze, back again from the car. I'm about to start calling this the Car Chronicles. But yeah, for the next few episodes till I get my computer stuff fixed, I'm gonna try to fix my computer. I just need a whole new system because this is just not working. I've already tried to shoot this video and it just didn't work. So I just go to what I know. My phone is where, most people, you just need a phone anyway. So I'm just going to go off the phone. I do have equipment on the way that I can actually prop my phone up and have lighting in my room. So you'll see that set up, I'll say, in the next 2 weeks. But for now, we're just going to rock out in the car. So you know what I'm here for, NFC East breakdown of all the games this week. I will be posting a video tomorrow. Because I know my page is predominantly NFC East, but it is about sports. I have to talk about the Clippers. I have to do it. I was thinking about it, should I not? I have to do it. It's too big of a story. So I'm going to knock this out today. Tonight I'll be shooting the Clippers video. It should be up tomorrow. So let's get this done. Nip, drop that.
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the whole.
All right. Now, you have a very interesting first few games to talk about. I'm not going to go super deep into it from an analytical point of view, just for this reasoning. You don't know if what you're seeing is going to triculate all year. I'm definitely think that, them missing preseason was a big deal. For one thing, if you play football, you would know how important training camp is in preseason just to get that used to that contact. And, being as they only had inter-squad scrimmages and shit like that, not having the preseason is big, man. Your body, has to get used to that contact no matter how, if you're professional or not. Your body has to get used to the contact. And the main thing that scared me the most was injuries. I posted it in my group. Injuries concerned me the most, even just all around the football. And, NFC East got hit again. There's a lot of injuries, especially between the Cowboys and Eagles, especially on the offensive line. There's a lot of injuries. So, it's just crazy to see. I'm happy we do have a football season to watch, but we just gotta appreciate what we get. Don't be out here making fun of injuries. Don't be out here doing none of that, because that's corny. But yeah, man, let's not even wait any longer. Let's get into it. Just explaining to you why I'm not gonna go full deep into the games like I will. By like week 3, you'll see a different way of doing things. I'll probably be going more deeper into stuff, but these teams got to make adjustments. It's new for everybody. This is a new norm for everybody. So, I'm not going to go fully deep into it. I'm just going to hit on certain things. So the first game is the Washington football team versus the Philadelphia Eagles. This game could have been a blowout. Like I said, I don't like the Eagles. Everybody knows that's my most hated team in the NFL. But this game was supposed to be a blowout. The Eagles had a chance to go up 24-0. Carson Wentz missed a touchdown pass. And what's crazy was, he was starting out the game hot, moving in the pocket, dropping dimes, all that shit. And it just went south after that interception. Even though people look at the interception as the changing point. Sorry, let me get a drink of water. But that missed touchdown pass to me was really the turning point. Like I said, I believe it was Jalen Reagor. He was wide open. You got to hit that, especially when you're on the level of what Wentz is. Wentz is a vet now, man. There's no more of that young guy stuff. You've been in the league 5 years. Some of this stuff you just can't do, especially like them out route picks. If you see the corner sitting on that out route, you don't throw it, man. He's waiting to jump that out route, and he still threw it, and he did it twice. And it's just like, bro, you got to do better than that. And then it just trickled down. Zach Ertz at the end of the game, a short-handed guy, I really never seen him drop passes like that. Dropped a wide open pass, Eagles offensive line got manhandled. I know they're depleted, but people got to understand one thing with injuries. When your line is depleted, you have to adjust. Sorry about that. Sorry, fucking allergies. Hate them. But when your line is depleted, you have to make adjustments. And this kind of will trickle into the Cowboy game too. You don't set up them long passes. If you look at how the Eagles played, everything was a deep shot after that. They just kept attacking deep. And it's like, no. If your line is messed up and they're giving up pressure, help your line out. Shorten those routes out. You feel me? Though maybe instead of throwing it, looking for the 20-yard bombs, keep it from 10, 15 range. You got to pick and puck the field until you get your offensive line, back fully healthy. But doing that, and you're already seeing your offensive line is getting destroyed by you doing that, why would you keep doing it? So that was kind of on Doug Peterson as well. That's a Super Bowl winning coach. You expect him to make the proper adjustments, and it seems like they just didn't adjust. They just seems like they just were doubting Washington, and then it got too late. You gave that a bad team momentum, and they got back in the game. So, shouts to the Washington football team for showing heart. You can definitely tell that the coaching change they made definitely I'm not going to say it's paying off fully, but you can tell the difference. They would have quit last year on that coach. Jay Gruden or whatever. They would have quit on him. Ron Rivera has a different aura about him, and they fought for him, especially he's coaching with cancer. He's fighting. You guys got to fight for him. So Washington football team in 2020, not surprising, starts out the NFL leading the NFC East. Everybody else in the NFC East lost. Washington football team won. So that's how 2020 is starting out. Not surprising. We'll go to, next week, I don't know. I think that the bus stops with them. I'll get later into it, when I do my videos for the predictions on Friday, because I don't think we play a Thursday game. So I should be able to put it up Friday. I'll get more into that, but they play Arizona, so I think the fun stops after this week. The Eagles, they go to play the Rams that the Cowboys just played, and you're having offensive line issues going against Aaron Donald, so good luck. So let's just go into this Cowboy game. The Eagles game, there's just not much to say. You've seen it. It's a tale of two halves. First half, Eagles dominated. Second half, Eagles look like shit, and Washington dominated. So, tale of two halves. With this game was weird, man. It was just like, as a Cowboy fan, you get tired of seeing the same predictable bullshit, same conservative offense. And it's been proven that conservative-ass offense isn't going to win you any games. You have to be willing to take shots. And I understand they're saying, oh, well, he wasn't conservative with the fourth down. Yeah, I understand that. But still, the way that the offense was just running, you would think like, you have all these weapons. But, then again, Aaron Donald was terrorizing our offensive line. But it's still like you got to be smarter. What happened to the RPOs? What about the motion and throw them off? Do something like how they did us. You run a motion. You run a play action. Throw them defensive pass rushers off the same way they did to us. They got our pass rushers going east and west instead of north and south. You feel me? You do the same thing with Aaron Donald. Get him going side to side, not just do a traditional drop back to where he's going to come get your ass. You feel me? Especially when you have backup linemen in, And Connor Williams, he got bullied. I'm not going to be saying he's done because Aaron Donald bullies everybody. That's what some Cowboy fans need to realize. Aaron Donald fucking makes a lot of offensive lines look bad. That's how good of a player he is. That is the reason that every NFL player in the NFL says Aaron Donald is their best player in football. He dominates the game from the defensive line standpoint, and he moves all over the line. That's what's hard about it, too. 1 minute he'll be inside, next he'll be a defensive end. He's quick. He's powerful. I just haven't seen anything like it, man. The way that he bullies these grown-ass offensive linemen is unreal. And Aaron Donald fucked the game up for us. We were able to run Zeke in a little bit, but once he started getting in, he powerbombed Zeke damn near, man. Like, Aaron Donald's just a bad boy, man. But as I look at this game, Ezekiel Elliott definitely looks like that training camp paid off for him. He's got that burst back that we're used to seeing. He's getting through that hole. He's running with power again. He looks a lot leaner. And, even the one play he scored a touchdown on, that was old school Zeke. So it was good to see that. Amari Cooper played well. Michael Gallup played well. Even CeeDee Lamb played well. It's just like, I just think it just with the play calling, I just didn't like it, man. I just felt like it wasn't aggressive enough. We weren't trying to win the game. We were more trying not to lose. You feel me? And that's never going to be a combination for success. But, if you look at the game, they ran we got out coached to me. Sean McVay's game plan trumped Mike McCarthy's game plan. They ran that same play, and it looked like the same thing, but you wouldn't know if they were running it or play action. But every time that they would get behind, the sticks for the down, that's when they wouldn't do anything on offense. So it was a simple game. You just stay ahead of the sticks instead of them getting 2-3 yards or 4 or 5 yards every time they run a play. You keep them behind. You make them get maybe 1 yard or 2 yards. They're not going to throw a deep ball. And, I think we just should have stayed home. They were just running, using our aggressiveness against us. We're going one way, they're going the other. And they just kept doing it, and it worked. But, the main thing a lot of people are going to say is, oh, Cowboys got robbed, blah, blah, blah. And I understand that. We keep getting the short end of the sticks when it comes to game-clinching calls. But like they say, if you grew up playing sports, you never leave the game in the referee's hands, because usually it's going to go the opposite way. I know a lot of people will look at that call, but you got to look at what happened leading up to that. We had plenty of chances to take over this game. We were leading the game after halftime, playing as bad as we did. We only scored 3 points in the second half. That is unacceptable. The weapons that this offense has, we should not be scoring under 20 points in any game. I don't care how good the defense is. The weapons that you have, you should be able to put up easily over 20 points. And we blow it. We had time after time, and as much as people want to shit on the defense, they did their job. They kept getting us the ball back, giving us a chance to win the game. Even at the end of the game, they kept giving us the ball back. The defense did their job. They even got an interception. We didn't even capitalize off that, bro. So you can't blame the defense. They did their job. They gave up 20 points, but giving up 20 points ain't that bad in the NFL, man. There's a lot of talented players in the NFL, especially at the skill positions now. But, man, it's just the same frustrating shit, it looks like, all over again. You have the conservative-ass play calling. You have we keep getting chances but not cashing in. And then when we finally cash in, the refs fuck is over. And then we try to blame the whole game on the refs. No, I'm tired of doing that, man. We can't keep leaving these games in the refs' hands, man. So we need to step up. If we're going to be good as everybody thinks we are, we need to step up. Next week, we need to show up. We have a tough schedule this year. Ain't really going to be no real easy games on this schedule. And we got a target on our back. So people are going to show up. We need to ball out versus Atlanta next week and right the wrong. And can we just stop ignoring Ezekiel Elliott in the second half? I know everybody wants to try to make Dak look great. No, you have to go with your bell cow. Ezekiel Elliott is the key to the team's success. It's been proven time and time again. Ever since they've been a rookie, the success goes off of Zeke. Zeke has to get the game going, control the game. If you run the ball and they have to start stacking the box, guess what? Then you go to them receivers, because then they'll have the shit. But they're not even stacking the box, and you're not running the ball. Then you're just throwing screens to Zeke. Like they started reading that. It worked in the first half. You got to switch it up in the second half. And that's what I'm getting tired of. We'll come out of halftime and not make adjustments. And we dealt with that with Jason Garrett. I'm praying that Mike McCarthy just had a bad week. It was week 1 without a preseason. I'm praying that it just was that, So we'll see going forward. But I don't know, man. I think we can be good, man. We should win the NFC East. the way that I look at it, because who knows when the Eagles are going to get healthy or if they're going to lose anybody else. We still got enough people to win games. Washington, I think that was hot air. I'll get to the Giants next. But the way I'm looking at this team, if we lose the NFC East, it's a disappointment, man. They should not be losing the NFC East, bro. You can try to call me cocky. You can say I'm a Cowboy fan, all of that. I don't care. They shouldn't. They shouldn't lose the NFC East, bro. They shouldn't. So that's that game. And lastly, we have the Giants versus Pittsburgh. There's not a lot to say here. The Giants are still struggling at the O-line, but, you take it easy. Pittsburgh is a dominant defense. I told people coming into the season that the Steelers may have the best defense in the league. Everybody was screaming the 49ers, this and that. And I'm like, the Steelers get a quarterback back. Big Ben, as much as people call him old, he's still a good quarterback. And, they didn't have that last year. So they were on the field a lot, but still holding it down and still won 8 games with Mason Rudolph as a quarterback. So, I think the Steelers will only go up as long as Ben stays healthy. And that defense is real, man. They got ballers all over the place. It was good to see. But the Giants, man, it's looking like that Odell trade may have been a mistake, because you just got to think, with the way that this kid can throw the ball, he's got the arm strength. Having a weapon like Odell on offense with Saquon Barkley only will help. Slayton is turning into something that's nice. I know they didn't have tape, but the thing I'm wondering is, what's up with this Evan Ingram guy? He's always a beast in Madden. He's got all the tools. He's an athletic freak, but it just seems like something don't click with him. Maybe he needs a change of scenery. Maybe, I don't know, but he just has not been working out for the Giants. It's looking like they may have wasted that first round pick on him. I think they drafted him in the first round. I'm not sure, but I think they wasted it, man. He's got a lot of talent, got a lot of potential, but it's just not showing. So, Saquon, I've said this and Giants fans got mad, but I wasn't saying it to make fun. Saquon should go somewhere else, man. He's wasting away. You don't have an offensive line to give him the running attack and the support that he needs. Why not get value for him while his value is still ultra high? I'm pretty sure you can still get a decent running back and get some offensive line help for him or some picks. But you just got him sitting back there getting cracked. He's about to start getting money. Even if he doesn't get a good season, he's going to demand high money because y'all are not really giving him much to work with. And he's still producing with that bad line. So it's either like trade him and get value, or pay him and then mess up your team even more from you being able to get stuff. So, I don't know, man. The Giants, we'll see how they look next week. I do think their offense is capable of putting up points. Defense is going to struggle once again all year. And, and who knows, man. The Giants, out of my week 1, I'll say the Giants look worse than any other team. I know the Eagles had their mess up, but they at least had something going. The Giants, if you really take away, they may have only had, they get 3 points off that muff punt in the score. Yeah, so they probably would have had 13 points, but the other one was in garbage time, so they really would have had 7 points. And just the defense, the Pittsburgh doesn't have a great offense, and the defense was still letting them move the ball, which is worrisome because you're going to have to just play more and more offensive. This is an offensive league, and if you can't stop nobody, especially the way that y'all was looking, it may be a bad year for y'all. But, a lot of Giants fans were telling me they weren't expecting much this year. This is another rebuild year. But, how many more rebuild years is Saquon Barkley going to want to have? You feel me? I know he loves New York and all that shit, but ever since he's come onto this team, they haven't been even close to contending for the division, let alone a playoff spot. So, how much more is a great player like that going to want to put up with? So the Giants need to start righting the ship, maybe make a front office move if this shit doesn't work. But they need to start going this way instead of just, you got to start trending up. And that's what they just haven't been doing. They had that one good year, the boat trip happened, and it's been a mess since. So, hopefully the Giants get themselves together. I'm not going to keep rambling. That's all I got for y'all this week. Like I said, I'll be going more into detail by week 4. But, right now I'm going to just keep it short and brief, give a few thoughts on the game, and just move forward. That way I'm not here talking y'all heads off, man. But y'all stay blessed, stay safe out here, mask up at all times when you're out and about. God bless you. I'm out.